On this week's episode of the BS Show, we dive into Death Stranding 2 and more. Before we jump in, don't forget to stay connected with us on all socials at the BS Show GG. Love what you're hearing? Show your support by liking this episode, dropping a comment with your thoughts, sharing this episode, and subscribing to keep up with all our future content. I'm Blake, and with me as always is Steve. Happy Easter, everybody, and welcome back to another fantastic episode of the BS Show. It's been a very long week. This weekend went by way too freaking quick. For me, let's see what I've been playing this week. I've been playing tons of League, again, like as always, playing some more Assassin's Creed, and I actually got back a little bit into some WoW to try out some mythic dungeons and some arenas, and been liking that. I think, Steve, I think you can probably agree with me on this. It's like, I get these urges to like go back to WoW. Like I can stop playing for like a month and then we'll get the itch to like want to go back and play it and just kind of see like what's been going on and like what's new with it. They just did a season 2 just came out I think like a month ago. So I've been checking out all the new mythics and stuff like that. They had like a new arena map that came out. But other than that, I haven't really been up too much, man. And what about you? How's everything been going with you? What games you been up to or been playing?
Yeah, this week has been a little bit hectic for me with work. It's been a little bit tough to get some games in, but been playing TFT, been playing this game called Vampire. It's pretty fun so far. I kind of got to the point with Assassin's Creed where I was like, it felt like it was starting to get very repetitive. The story wasn't really as engaging as I would like to kind of really keep me hooked in. So I kind of put that game on pause and yeah, just trying to kind of catch up on my backlog. But yeah, a lot of TFT this week. You
had a tournament last weekend, didn't you?
Yeah.
So how did you do in that? How'd that everything all go with that?
So I did okay. It wasn't like a very like big tournament. There was I think it was like 3 rounds in the beginning, and then the best the 8 people with the best score at the end, they all kind of went up to the next section. I made it to the last one. I was like kind of right on the bubble and flamed out on the last one. I didn't get enough points to make it through. But
that was like your first ever TFT little tournament that you've done, right, or no?
Yeah. I just tried it. I joined some Discord on the TFT Reddit, and they were kind of doing something for some I forget what those things are called. The rune points. What are those called?
Oh, I can't. Just RP.
RP. Yeah. They were doing for like a $50 RP gift card or something like that. Yeah. So I figured, I was like, oh, why not? I got some time. Let me see if I can do it. Let's see how I do. Maybe I'll get lucky and I'll win out. And yeah.
Do you think you'll do another season in the future or no?
Maybe. This season has been a little bit weird for me. I'm not the biggest fan when I guess for people that play TFT, when the strongest comps are reroll comps, it just feels very not as enjoyable as when people are playing flex. It's because the games can just get out of hand very quickly, and I'm not a big reroll fan, so I tend to not play reroll comps.
So is a reroll comp like when you kind of hold off on your gold towards the end and then you just start rolling for what you need?
No, so reroll is when you're rolling to try to get 3 stars of something.
But don't you like save up your gold for like until like late game and then you just fucking just roll down?
Kind of. It's so reroll, you want to get you want to try and be as strong as possible early game, so you're win streaking and you're getting gold. So you set up a pretty strong board, you start winning, you start getting gold, you get to 50 as soon as possible, level up to the level that you need to. So if you're going for like 3 costs, you want to get 7, 2 costs, you want to go 6, and then you start rolling down up until 50 to try to get your 3 stars as quick as possible. I think no matter what, you end up kind of rolling down pretty low depending on what you're running. Like usually, like I roll down as soon as I hit 8, just to try and get pairs and whatever else I need to stabilize if I'm not strong, and hopefully win out the rest of the stage and stabilize again to go to 9 and then roll down again. But
every time you talk TFT, bro, it's like you're speaking Spanish to me. Like I still just don't understand it. It's because I've only played a few times with you, and I do play here and there, but it's just so fucking confusing. I just feel like half the time I'm just like, all right, let me just, which you saw when you watched me play that game, I just kind of throw shit together and trying to make it work instead of rolling, with what they got or with what the game's giving me.
Yeah, and then when it gets a little crazy too when you have to like roll down and you're looking for a bunch of things and you have to like set your board up.
You're giving me a fucking panic attack trying to tell me like a million things to do, and you have like 30 seconds to fucking do it. And I'm just like, what is going on right now?
Yeah. But no, it's pretty fun. I like it.
That's what's up. So, all right. So, before we get into it, so here's my question for this week, and I want you and then everybody who's listening, if they can answer this for me too. What video game or video game series has like the most iconic music that you can think of?
Ooh. Oh, that is a good one.
You gotta put the thinking cap on for this one. I already knew what mine was before I even thought of the question.
I guess are you talking about like original scores or just like a soundtrack?
Like a soundtrack, like if you were like you just heard part of the song, like it just, I don't know, like you just will recognize that game. Like what game has like the most iconic sound or soundtrack to it?
If you're talking about like non-original songs, I'd have to say Tony Hawk. For me, it really dictated a lot of what I listened to when I was a kid, when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And a lot of the music I still kind of listen to. Like it got me really into like punk, ska, and some metal music and some. But then, like if you're talking about like original, I'd probably have to say like, for me, ooh.
Yeah, let's say original. Let's say original.
I think Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts is a good one.
Yeah. What about you?
Don't laugh, but the Halo.
Yeah. I guess you know right away.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, as soon as you hear that song, there was the video I think on TikTok of that dude doing it in like a locker room, and it just like you hear that song, bro, and it just brings this, the nostalgia to playing Halo 2 with everybody, or Halo, and in like B-Rad's room, or like we did it in your basement. We were playing a shit ton of Halo and stuff. Like, I don't know that every time I hear the song.
I never really got that into Halo. That was one of those games where it's like, whenever it was like big, I didn't have an Xbox. I was a PlayStation guy. I was like solely playing PlayStation games. And
but I remember you having an Xbox, because I remember us playing like Gears of War and shit like that at your house too.
Yeah, so I got a 360, but that's like I think by the time the 360 came out, I think Halo
3. Yeah, Halo 3.
And that, I don't think that was doing as well as like some of the other stuff.
Well, Halo 2 is by far the best Halo.
Yeah, I think by Halo 3 it was all what's it called? Or by the time the 360 came out, everyone was just playing Call of Duty. And that's the only reason I even got 360 was to play Call of Duty with everyone. Yeah.
So, all right, well, yeah, I could have sworn you. I know you played Halo with us at B-Rad's house.
I probably did, but
you just weren't a huge Halo person? Wow, dude.
No.
We just lost all of our listeners because of that. Thanks a lot, Steve. How do you say you're not a Halo fan, bro? It's like one of the best Xbox games ever made.
I just never got into it. Like when I think it also goes. I didn't have an Xbox growing up. Like I didn't have the original Xbox. I never had an original Xbox. Like I never went back and bought it. I was solely like a PlayStation guy at that point. Like I remember the whole console wars and all that stuff, and it was like you'd see commercials, and like I know South Park did like a big thing where it's like you need to pick a side, and I was just like a Sony fanboy back then.
I'm the opposite now. I was always an Xbox person, and then I think I got PlayStation for like God of War, like Spider-Man and some other games, stuff like that. But anyways, man, let's cut right through it and let's get into it. So Nintendo, the Switch 2 has this Zelda Breath of the Wild, and it's at a $70 price point, and they're not included in that is going to be a $20 DLC, bringing up the total price of $90 for a game that was originally released in 2017 for the Wii U. I was looking at this and I didn't realize that handheld consoles, like games, are like just as expensive as like your normal consoles that you have lying around the house. So what do you kind of think about the game, for a game that was released 8 years ago, being $70 just for base, and then not even including like another $20 DLC in the game?
That's a little crazy to me, especially so. I think Nintendo in general is trying to spike up the prices of their games, because I don't know if you saw how much the new Mario Kart's going to be. I think it's going to be around that same price point, like $90, something like that. It's again like Breath of the Wild was an incredible game. Would I be willing to pay $70 for the game? Probably.
Would you say yes?
Like,
Oh god.
I mean, in terms of the amount of content that you get from that game and what you can do and how fun and enjoyable it was, it's kind of worth it. But at the same time, it's like it sets the precedent where it's like, okay, other companies are seeing Nintendo do this. Assassin's Creed just did it by hiking the price up from the base game from 60 to 70. So now I think it's going to be the expectation where any big game that comes out now is going to be a minimum of $70, which is a little insane. It's hard to like wrap your mind around it.
Well, like I'm cool. Like I mean, when we were younger, our games were what, like $49, $50, brand new still. So I know times have changed. Games I think are just a lot more expensive to make, and that's kind of why the price is increasing. But I mean, do you think that there should be like a big price difference between like a handheld game and then one that you would play on like a normal console, or do you think like they pretty much like they all should maintain like the same kind of price regardless of which console it's on?
I think it just depends on the quality of the game, because I'm trying to remember like how much like Game Boy games were back in the day.
I don't remember them being the same price as normal games.
Yeah, I don't know if they were the same or less. If anyone knows and anyone remembers, like that'd be an interesting thing to see, because I don't remember if I was paying full price for these games back then. Granted, I wasn't paying for them; my parents were paying for them back then. But no, that's crazy to see. But like this game's supposed to look like, from everything I've seen, it looks incredible. It's tough, and I think a lot of people it's going to be very difficult for them to wrap their mind around spending $90 on a game.
Yeah,
I think the really cool thing that Nintendo is doing is, if you have the base game already for the Switch 1, you're only paying $10 to upgrade, which is awesome. I think that's great, and I think more companies should be doing that.
What do you think though about paid DLC in general? Do you think the game should just I feel on one hand it's just like I feel like you're buying unreleased games if they have to put all these DLCs out. Now if DLC came out like a year or two later with like new maps or something like that, that's cool with me. But like for something like this, it's like you're paying already $70 for the game, but then they're talking about like the DLC's not even coming with it. So the DLC's already been made, and you're not even going to be able to fucking play without forking out another $20. So it's almost like you're paying for an unfinished game.
No, because the game is finished. Like in a sense, it's like the base game is finished. I think it's fine. I think it just depends on the quality of the DLC. For me, like I very rarely will shell out like the extra money to get the higher levels of the game that have like the season pass, which includes like DLC. I mean, the season pass thing has been a thing for a long time. Like I think like Call of Duty used to have that. You would pay extra and you would get like all the extra incentives that you would get from playing online or whatever. I'm trying to remember like what other games would have stuff like that would include like DLC, upcoming DLC, because Call of Duty used to have like map packs that you would have to buy, right, back in the day.
Yeah. Well, that came later on. So actually, no, I think COD 4 introduced that with the map packs. I remember buying. I can't think of I mean, that was fucking like 15 to 20 years ago.
Yeah, like 20 something years ago.
I don't.
But yeah,
remember.
It's
damn.
Yeah. No, but yeah, it's I think as long as the DLC is worth it. Like again, when you're prepaying for stuff like this, I think you just have to really think about it and take into account, like, am I going to be playing this game for a long time? Is this something that I'm willing to shell out $90 for? If it's yes, then buy it. Like I think that's the really cool thing about video games. It's you can really see how much time you're getting, how much enjoyment, how much time you're getting out of what you spend. So if you're spending $90 and the game is only 10, 15 hours, it's probably not worth it. Yeah. But if it's like, if you're going to be spending like hundreds and hundreds of hours playing this game, $90, that's like nothing. You're paying $1 per hour. We talk about
that like GTA, like that we were cool with like that being that price. But like a game like this, like Zelda Breath being $70, do you think that's a fair price?
It's hard to say. I don't know if I would necessarily, like I know I said earlier I probably would, but that's also after the fact, after I played it. I think beforehand, if I'm not a Zelda fan, if I've never played any of the Zelda games, and I'm just buying a Switch 2, say like you're buying a Switch 2 for your daughter,
I'm not going to spend $70.
Yeah, you're probably not going to spend $70 on a game that you might not know if she's even going to like. But as someone that enjoys Zelda, as someone that's played all of the other ones before, I would probably pay $70. But then again, like I said, the really cool thing is if you own the Breath of the Wild for the Switch 1, you're only paying $10. It's a $10 investment to get the upgraded version of it.
So is it like a digital thing? Because I don't have a Switch or a Switch 2, or I mean, I was not Switch 2, but I don't have any of them. I don't know how it works.
I don't know how it's going to work. I wonder if it's just in your library and you can upgrade to it, because I have the physical copy of Breath of the Wild, and I don't know if you didn't purchase it on the Switch store, if you're able to upgrade, but maybe as long as it's in your library and it's a game that you've downloaded in the past, it'll kind of say, oh, hey, this account owns Breath of the Wild, let's give it to them for $10.
Oh, okay.
I'd be curious to see how Nintendo does that.
Yeah, well, when does the Switch 2 even come out? I know it's supposed to be coming out like this year, isn't it?
I don't know yet. I know there's prototypes going around, and I think it's still kind of up in the air.
Oh, dude, pre-orders begin here in like a week. And I know we talked about, I think June, July-ish is when it's supposed to be coming out.
I think it's going to be like $400, $500, something like that.
Yeah, and I think we were talking about this before too. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be picking up one of those because I'd like to have a game, a system that can kind of play with Callie, like you say, you can plug it into the TV and shit like that. I'd love something like that. All right, so let's get into this next one. So an article came out that was going on with the like a survey thing, or they talked about how 58% of PC gaming revenue comes from microtransactions. I guess the earnings last year were around $24.4 billion alone just in the microtransactions. Your top three games leading that were COD, Black Ops 6, which is kind of surprising, Roblox, and then Fortnite. Now, I don't have a problem with microtransactions as long as they're not things that provide like an advantage in game, or like hiding guns, or like how Overwatch, they had heroes in them, or special perks or things like that. Like I'm totally fine. I also think that games like Fortnite and Roblox need ways of monetizing, and microtransactions are perfectly, great idea for that. I give Callie, don't judge me, but like, probably about $20 a week or so for things in Roblox, because, it's a game like she gets a lot of enjoyment out. She plays with some of her friends on there, and the amount of content in that game, like I said, when it's free, I think deserves, a way to be monetized. So does those numbers or percentages really surprise you at all? And what are your thoughts on microtransactions as like a whole?
I think it does surprise. It surprised me in the beginning. Like when I first saw it, I was like, "Wow, this is a pretty absurd number." But then, like you said, when you start thinking about like the games that people are playing the most, probably on PC, they rely very heavily on microtransactions. Games like Fortnite, Roblox, like you said, Minecraft, even. So it's like people are constantly buying things, whether it's cosmetics or whatever it may be. I don't know what people really buy on Roblox, and
she buys like outfits and stuff like that for Dress to Impress and things like that. She's got like a whole Taylor Swift outfit, dude.
Oh really?
Yeah.
But it's like when you think about stuff like that, like it makes sense. And then I'm sure like if you looked at like the numbers for like mobile games, it'd probably be way more, because like I feel like some of those games rely only on microtransactions. But no, it's a crazy number, and it's weird to think how the landscape of like how games make money has shifted so much in the recent years. After like I say this all the time, like gaming I think has to be separated into like post Fortnite. Everything after Fortnite is completely different. Everyone is looking for some sort of live service thing where it's like, how can we continue to make money, and how can we make money for as long as possible? And microtransactions is the perfect answer. The only thing that I kind of dislike about this, it's like as people are kind of seeing how much money you can make from this, is when companies start throwing stuff in there to make the game a little bit easier for you. I don't know if you saw with Assassin's Creed, you can buy like the map pack.
Yeah,
so if you
I saw that. Yeah,
it's like if you don't want to discover everything, you can just buy the map pack outright. you can buy weapons for initially, or like the outfit things. It's like I could care less. Like if you want to buy outfits to make yourself look better, cool. But once you start buying stuff that make the game easier, less challenging, and it's when it gets a little bit weird for me.
So what do you think it says about the gaming industry as a whole that like your top games are free to play and the only way they're really making money is off of microtransactions?
Yeah,
isn't that kind of like weird? I would have never, in all my time playing games, I never would have thought that would be the model that like was like the most successful.
I mean, it kind of makes sense though, because it's a smaller barrier to entry, because like we saw it with Concord. Like Concord came out in a landscape where every other game of its type is free.
Yeah.
Like would Concord have done better if it was free to play and they just had microtransactions? Probably. I think they tried something different, and they tried to see if they could shake up the landscape of gaming and like bring it back to a world where you're not just paying for a bunch of extra stuff. You're getting everything outright, and you just pay for the game. But it's people don't want to pay for something when it's like they don't even know if it's going to be enjoyable.
Yeah, that makes sense. Anything else you want to talk about on these microtransactions?
No.
All right, so before we get to our next topic, don't forget to stay connected with us on all socials at the BSOGG. And if you're enjoying this episode so far, please be sure to share the podcast and leave a comment. So there was a lawsuit against Ubisoft from two California gamers. So they're in the process right now of suing Ubisoft in a class action lawsuit over the developer shutting down the game The Crew that originally released back in 2014. Now, Ubisoft shut off its servers, making the game completely unplayable due to it not having a single player or offline mode. So Ubisoft just came out and basically said like they're holding firm on this whole you don't own your video game, you're merely buying a limited access license. So like one big point that I think is actually really important in this is, you know, these guys are from California that are suing Ubisoft. In California, or I'm sorry, in The Crew, there's crew currency, right? And the currency, I guess, it meets all the requirements to be considered a gift card. And in California, where these two guys are from, gift cards aren't allowed to expire. But so by Ubisoft shutting down the servers, they pretty much broke the law in rendering that currency useless. Now, I kind of agree with the plaintiffs on this one, you know, because it's like when you buy a game, most of the time, like you know, you're buying it with the intention of being able to play it for as long as you please. Now, on one hand, I get it that it's, you know, it's mainly like a multiplayer game. You're not really playing, you know, online or single player offline. But I mean, I don't know. But like, and on the other hand too, it's like, you know, I feel the same thing could be said about purchasing music. You know, you go to, you know, your Walmart or Target, you buy a CD. Like you don't own the music, you don't own the songs, but you own the right to be able to listen to that music on any device that you have it on. So, what do you think about this, man?
It's it's weird because I think if you buy a game, you should be able to play it as long as you have it.
Yeah.
The thing with games like this, though, where it's online only, it kind of creates that weird thing where it's like, I think more and more games nowadays are coming out where it's like, you have to be online to be able to play it. So it creates that scenario where as soon as the servers are shut down, the game is inaccessible, which again is a bit kind of weird because it's like, you're seeing it more and more. It's like the new game comes out, they're going to shut down servers to kind of force people to buy the newer one.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of that, but if it's a game where it's like solely multiplayer, it's going to happen. It's after a while, it's like the game's not, right? Yeah. You can't just expect the game to be around forever. If it had like a single player mode, like yes, that makes sense. That 100% makes sense. It's like you should be able to access it whenever. And it's one of the, I don't know if you saw when Steam changed their terms of service because of that whole new law in California, kind of forcing, they force companies to let you know, like, hey, if you don't own something and you're just purchasing a license for it to be able to use it, you have to let the consumers know. So as soon as that law went through, Steam just changed everything and they just started telling people, hey, you don't own any of your games. All you purchased was
right
licensed.
To play it.
Yeah, to be able to play it. Which, yeah, it's kind of weird and it's kind of wonky, especially like for us where we grew up in an era where it's like you buy physical games, and it's like digital was very like I hardly knew anyone that was buying solely digital games, and now it's like I feel like that's all
everybody does. Yeah. So, but what's your opinion on them having like their this in-game currency, this crew currency system, and then all of a sudden you're like, let's just say you bought currency and you have a bunch of it on there, now all of a sudden they shut it down and you have no access to it, you can't refund it, can't use it. Like, what the hell? Like, what do you do now? They're not issuing refunds for it.
Yeah, I think Ubisoft should issue refunds, but at the same time, it's like, just think about like, say you have like you bought like a year of like WoW time, and then WoW shuts down. They just shut down the servers. I don't think they're going to give people back the money for the extra WoW time that they have. Same thing with like Fortnite. If Fortnite shuts down and you buy V-Bucks, like think about all these games that came out in the.
You don't think they should give? You don't think they would give refunds like Fortnite if you bought $100 worth of V-Bucks and like the next day they shut down?
I don't think so. Like I'm saying, think about the games that came out recently that kind of just died like within a couple weeks, a couple months or whatever. They came out. They had battle passes. They had all this other stuff that you could buy, cosmetics that you can buy, and people were buying some of the stuff because they were enjoying the game. And then all of a sudden, it just shuts down, and it's like they're not refunding anyone. I think it's again like if people were buying any of the currency for the crew nowadays, it's
an 11-year-old game.
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing? But
yeah, no, I can agree on that. So let's hop into this next one. There was an article that came out that states that 19% of Japanese people in their 20s have spent so much money on gacha that they are struggling with covering living expenses. So they also had a survey on here that stated that like there was an overwhelming 76% of people do not regret spending any money on their in-game purchases. Now, do you see any issues with like how much money people are spending on in-game purchases, or is it one of those things where it's just like, these are adults, if they can't make responsible financial decisions, then it's pretty much their own fault?
I think it's that. It's people need to understand. It's like you need to be able to budget your money, and it's if you're overspending and then you can't afford to eat and you can't afford to pay rent, like you need to figure something out. But I mean, gacha's huge in Japan. Like they have like stores all over the place where it's literally just gacha, just mystery boxes. It's like you go in and they have these vending machines where you just put yen in, and you get a random little container that could have some random toy. Some of them are worthless. Some of them are worth a lot. Like I went to Tokyo Tower, and at the bottom of Tokyo Tower, there was a store that was like nothing but mystery boxes. It was like they were worth a certain amount of money, and you just buy them, and it's like you could get something good, you could get something terrible, but they love that stuff over there. And even some of the like the games that are big out in Asia, it's like Genshin Impact is huge, and that game is all gacha.
So do you think that these games should have it's not called fail-proof, but like, okay, so like when you have gambling and you have like a gambling issue, you call a number, then like it prevents you from, going into a casino. Do you think like these games should have an option of being like, do not allow me to spend more money? Or is it just like I said again, just like, yeah, just if you can't afford your grocery shit, like just stop fucking doing it? Yeah,
you just have to be responsible, like, because at the same time, it's like, you don't want the people that do have the extra money, if they want to spend a bunch of money on the game that they enjoyed, like let them spend a bunch of money.
Do you think the issue too is maybe like it's too easily accessible to spend all this money, or is again just don't fucking click purchase?
Yeah, just don't click purchase. I think one of the things they did add is they added at least in some of the games that I've seen, they added the percentage that it is to get whatever. Like I don't know if you've seen, I don't know if they have this with League, but in TFT they have like the treasure realm where you can get some like crazy skins for your unit, and on it'll tell you what percentage you have to get the main one. So it's like a 0.1% chance for every chest that you open.
Yeah, League had this store thing. I don't remember exactly what it's called off the top of my head, but like you get like these rolls. You spend money, you use your RP to buy rolls, and in the rolls for the chests, it has like I don't know how many skins and like it's like, you know, icons, emotes, whatever, but it gave you the percentage of it. But like your normal like hex tech or mastery chest, like it doesn't give you a percentage for anything. And correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a while ago, I think it was like Overwatch or something like that. There was like a lawsuit against them for not displaying, you know, the percentages of things, of what your chances are of getting certain things, wasn't it?
Yeah, so that was back when they had their loot boxes, and that's kind of why they took the loot boxes away. Was there was people that were just spending too much money on this stuff. But
do you think these games should have, though, like a certain games they'll give you like a here's how much money you spent? Do you think they should make it easier to see like just how much money, because maybe they don't really know like how much they've been spending?
I definitely don't want to see how much.
You know, it'd be such a high number, give you a fucking heart attack.
Yeah, like just playing TFT alone, I think I've probably spent like close to $1,000 on.
What are you even buying in TFT, bro? Besides fucking the little sprite icon, dude. Like what? Not even. What the fuck, dude?
Yeah. I don't want to talk about it.
God. All right, we'll sort of wrap this one up. I'm just gonna say, like, I think that, you know, so many games offer an insane amount of in-game purchases, but nothing is requiring you to purchase that. And that if you can't just, you know, if you can't just play the game without all the transactions, you know, who cares? You know, you don't need to buy all those items, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So before we get into our last topic, don't forget to stay connected with us on all socials at the BSShowGG. And if you're enjoying this episode so far, please be sure to share the oh my God, please be sure to share the podcast. Also, leave a comment stating how much you love me. All right, so this is the last segment, Death Stranding 2 on the beach. It's at this one, I think, Steve, you're gonna you didn't like this article. They're featuring an accessibility option that is going to let players clear boss fights without engaging in combat. I can't speak today, dude. So the director stated this on an episode of the Kiji Pro broadcast that this will allow players who are inexperienced in action games to clear boss fights. And the reason why I think that you're going to, you know, have some good shit to say about this is because the amount of crap that you give me for like giving up on fights after losing 1 to 2 times. So do you think that these people just need to suck it up and keep plugging it away at the bosses until they defeat them? Or should a handicap be put into the games for players whom are inexperienced and allow them to progress through the games without like really completing the boss fights?
I'm
just say what you mean, dude. Just let it all out. I know exactly how you feel.
I'm a big fan of people just getting good and figuring it out. But at the same time, it's like I'm fine when games have like an easy mode, and if people that aren't as experienced, or like say kids or something, want to play a game and just want to enjoy the game for what it is, like that's fine. Add an easy mode, cool, whatever. But like when you do a thing where you just completely skip the whole thing, like that's a little crazy to me. Like when I saw this, I was like, what? It doesn't make sense. It's like you're just you might as well just watch like a YouTube video of someone playing it. It's like because you're not even playing
play this game. Like this might be something you'll enjoy.
It's like watch someone like stream it or something, because all you're doing at this point is just watching the story mode and just doing it for the story. Maybe I never played Death Stranding, so I don't know if there's like puzzles and all that other stuff, but like it's I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. It's like I said, I'm a big proponent of you adapting and overcoming. It's like you learn how to get, like every single time you die, you should get a little bit better. Like sometimes you keep failing at the exact same thing over and over. Like again, like I've spent hours trying to beat a boss before, and I'm not the best gamer ever. Like I suck at these games. I suck at like Souls games, and I suck at like a bunch of other, like I suck at a lot of games. But like I do like the fact that you do get better and you do start figuring it out, and then when you finally beat it, you're like, holy crap, this is incredible. Like I'm probably trying to think, like there's a bot, I don't know if you've ever played Remnant. It's like a Souls like shooter game.
No, I know you've told me about that game though.
So me and my buddy Jose, we spent, I'm trying to think, probably like 4 or 5 hours on one boss. Just one boss alone.
That's enough for
me. We stopped, took a break, and then came back, and then like another 2 hours, and we finally beat it. And it's like the amount of, like, we were so happy. It was like one of the best moments ever. It's just like, it just feels so good to just overcome something that you've been stuck on for so long, and you just can't figure it out. You feel like you're never gonna get it, and then eventually it's like you start getting closer and closer and closer and closer, and then you're like, okay, cool, we got it. Let's go.
I think that's something too that like makes some of these games so popular and so good. Like look at Elden Ring. I mean, look at the amount of content that like a streamer like Kai Cenat got out of streaming him playing Elden Ring. Like, you know, he had like 1,000 deaths on, you know, a certain boss, and it's like if you give these people like easy mode, I feel like it's not going to be as enjoyable.
Yeah, no, it's like you definitely get to a point where you feel like you're never gonna beat it. Like I've been there. Like the Elden Ring, the boss that Kai got stuck on, Melania. I think I was on her for like 2-3 months before I finally beat her. And it wasn't like me spending like hours and hours. Like I think the first time I tried her, I spent maybe like 2-3 hours on her, and then I was just like, okay, I'm done with this game. I'm not playing this. And then like every once in a while I would like hop on, try it for like 30-45 minutes, lose. And finally, when I finally got it, finally beat her, it was incredible. I uninstalled the game immediately, and then I never played it again. But yeah, it's that's the thing. It's like it feels so good when you finally do something that you've been trying to do. Like just think about it like in real life. It's like you're going for like a promotion, or you're trying to get to a certain goal. It's like it's hard in the beginning, and it's like then it gets easier, and then you finally get it, and you're like, okay, that was great.
So do you think games nowadays are becoming like too easy?
In a sense, yes. Like I don't know if you've gone back and you've played some of the older games from back in the day where it's like I replayed Kingdom Hearts recently, and just like the game itself was so difficult compared to games from nowadays. Like it took me I was thinking back, I was like, how did I beat this when I was a kid? Like there's no freaking way. Like there was moments where I would have to look up a guide to see where I was supposed to go, because there was no map unless you're paying attention to like every single little thing from the cutscenes. You don't know where you're going. You don't know what you're supposed to do. And even then, when they tell you, like they give you like very like vague little things. It's like, oh, go here, and you're like, okay, let me go look for this. The mechanics were wonky, and it's like no maps, nothing. You die and it's over, and you restart at the last checkpoint, and the last checkpoint could have been like 30-45 minutes before you got to that certain point, and it's like, holy crap. I was like thinking, I was like, how did I beat this back in the day? And it's games are definitely getting a lot easier, but I also think it's because games have to be a lot more casual now. There's just you're in an era now where it's like back then you'd have one game come out every couple months that was like a big game. And now it's like you have a big game coming out every other week, it feels like.
Yeah, I was just thinking about like how I thought the games are getting a little easier, because like when we were playing Split Fiction, I think there was a few times that like one of us kept dying at a certain part, but the other one had progressed through it, and it just like spawned us together. So we totally just, you know what I mean, just got to skip past the whole freaking part.
Yeah, I know there's some sections in Split Fiction where it's like you have to make it through together, because it has the like it'll respawn you back in the beginning, and there's little like switches that each person has to hit.
Yeah, but there was a part that it progressed us through to go on to the next part. Even I think I was dying at like the same part for like 5 minutes, and then it just like you had already been so far ahead that it just brought me up to you. And you're like, yeah, I didn't like that.
Yeah, and I think it just depends too on what section. Like I'm sure. And I wonder if there's like difficulty modes in Split Fiction too, but I'm not a big fan of when games make it easier automatically. But if they add like an easy mode, like I'm completely fine with that. To each their own. If people want to play mode. Yeah, the whole skipping the boss though is a little freaking crazy to me.
Yeah, like, make the boss more forgiving or something like that. Not as mechanic heavy.
That's insane. No, I think they still need to make some bosses hard. Like
I'm talking about if Callie sits there and hops into this game, or like a freaking Elden Ring, bro, you gotta give some leeway.
Well, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, add an easy mode. Add like an easy mode. Add your normal. Add your like harder mode or whatever.
Call it child mode. So if an adult goes to play it, they feel terrible about playing it at that difficulty.
I mean, you should feel terrible if you play a game in easy mode, because it is very like, it very much is like you're playing. It feels like you're playing like I'm trying to think like what game I played recently that my little brother was playing, and he was playing it on easy mode. Crap. I think it was Resident Evil. I think it was Resident Evil 7, and I had just done a playthrough of Resident Evil 7, and I let him borrow the game on Steam so he could play it. and he was playing it on easy mode, and it's like just going through some of the bosses that I found like super super challenging, and it's like, oh crap, I can just kill them with like 2 or 3 shotgun hits, and it's like they do no damage to me, so it's like, oh okay, this is
It's almost not as enjoyable.
Yeah.
So anything else you want to hit on with this, or?
No, I'm good.
All right. I knew you were gonna had something to say about that, because that's like one thing you've always given me so much shit for, was like giving up on it, and you're like, you just need to fucking learn how to do it, and like with PoE 2 and everything, like you just need to keep doing it, Blake.
Yeah, you gave up on the wolf, and I was like, I can't believe you gave up on that.
Dude, that thing was pissing me off. I still get nightmares.
You only tried it for like 20 minutes.
That's enough time for me to be. Yeah, I know, dude. I don't have.
That's insane to me.
No, I need to be able to beat it first try, or I just don't want to do it. And that's, I hate, and that's okay. That's all right.
That's insane to me. Like giving up after 30 minutes is insane. Like
it was like an hour, dude. It was like an hour.
Because me and Jose were waiting for you because we were right after that.
You guys you guys did it together. I was doing it by myself.
Well, I think it's easy to
don't even say that, dude. It's a lot harder, because when you're with 2 people, one person can die and keep coming back to life as long as the other person's doing just fine.
Just don't die, dude. Well, to be fair, like Jose died in the beginning, and I clutched it up at the end.
That's what I'm saying. But if he was by himself, would he have been able to do it? I don't know.
No. I beat it by myself, basically, because he died in the beginning, and I couldn't get him back to life. Because once you get to a certain point, once you die and you can't get brought to life, and you don't get brought to life back,
brought back
in
to
time,
life.
you just you just die.
Yeah, I can't remember how the respawn systems work in that, but yeah, that was just, I spent too much time on there, dude. I was over it.
It's fun, dude. It's so fun.
No. All right, we're moving on. Let's not talk about me giving up on games, okay? so nothing's really coming out. Oh, I didn't want to say, did you happen to check out the Minecraft movie?
No, not yet.
Dude, okay, you need to watch it. So they didn't, nothing crazy. I know it's kind of off topic here. Nothing crazy happened at the movie. I know you talk about like that, chicken jockey. Nothing.
Did you see the videos I sent you?
Yeah, dude. I saw they were having like cops come and like, hey, you guys need to make sure you're not doing this. No, nothing was crazy. You know, me and Megan and Callie went to watch it, dude. And, fantastic movie. I was skeptical, I'm not gonna lie, when we talked about the trailer, but it was just, dude, it was just really fucking good. Like I would honestly rate it like an 8 out of 10. Like for an adult, I enjoyed it. Like I didn't know what to expect going into it, but it had some humor in there that I thought was funny. Like Jason Momoa, dude, I never would have thought like that would have been a movie that he would do, but really good. Jack Black, really good. Just, I'm not gonna ruin the movie or stuff like that, but I did like they did a lot of shout outs to some big creators, and nice. Yeah, I think Megan cried at a scene. Okay, I'm not gonna say anything, but Megan cried for like 10 seconds in there, and I was like, "Are you crying?" And she's like, "Yeah," but like the sad scene was like literally like a 10-second scene. It was just Jason Momoa talking about himself.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna say what he was saying because I don't think it would ruin it, but you got to go see it. So, anyways, some games that you guys need to check out that are on sale right now on Steam. You got Baldur's Gate 3 is 20% off at $47.99. You got Lords of the Fallen is 67% off at $19.79, and Abiotic Factor is 20% off at $19.99. And that's it for today's episode of the BS Show. If you enjoyed the unfiltered conversations, make sure to share this podcast and follow us on all socials at the BS Show GG. Also, make sure to leave a comment stating that it is okay to give up on bosses even after 30 minutes. We appreciate you listening, and we'll be back next week with more straight talk, no BS.